You already know, man. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Are you discoverable? Or better question, how are people discovering you? How are people discovering you? All right, I think it was this week, either this week or this past week. If you just check out the Move Swiftly podcast and scroll through all the episodes, you're gonna see an episode titled Word of Mouth Epidemics, all right? Word of mouth epidemics. And what happened to me just yesterday is something I have got to come on here and I got to share this with you guys, because it's often said, I think it was, what movie was that? American Gangster with Denzel Washington, when he was talking to his cousin. He said the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room. The loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room, all right? So you guys, many of you, if you're a regular consumer to my work, whether it's this video or the Move Swiftly podcast, you know this year I started teaching at a brand new center, right? A brand new center, and I started at this center after I was already established, so to speak, in the podcast world, meaning I had over 200 episodes before I started working at this particular center. So had I gone to this center, right? Had I gone into this center and started to meet my new coworkers and the people that have been there for a while and stuff like that, had I gone there and started screaming, hey, I have a podcast, I have a podcast, this, I have books, I have all that stuff, which, don't get me wrong, I explained it to when I was asked, I told them, but I didn't go out there and start just screaming and talking about the stuff I've accomplished last year, the stuff I accomplished before I got to the center, right? So because of that, I become even more discoverable, all right? Because of that, just yesterday, and let me actually, instead of giving you all this backstory, let me just tell you what happened to me yesterday. Because I didn't go out and start promoting myself too much, just yesterday, one of the other teachers at the school, actually she's not necessarily a teacher, she's more of an administrator. Her son goes there, and she's probably the most valuable employee to the school, because she, if I'm not mistaken, she and another, actually, let me not say the most valuable, but very much one of the more valuable ones, because it's a startup school, and her son and her daughter are attending this new school. And when it comes to that, you got to make sure you're working with the parents and things like that, all right? So anyway, long story short, yesterday I'm at work, and she comes up to me and she goes, Aswand, I love how you told me you had a podcast. And she said that in a sarcastic way, because she had just, she consumes and she listens to a lot of different podcasts, and she said it in a way that she just found my podcast, so she never would have known, things like that, yada, 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 yada. Now, what I'm telling you, the reason I'm breaking all of that down for you is because I didn't go out and say, you need to listen to my podcast. I didn't try to force her to listen to my podcast, right? It just so happens I put in so much work and I put so much content out there. I put so much material out there in which now I'm becoming discoverable. And when you touch that place, all right, when you're in that place where you're so focused and so locked in to what it is you're doing that people are finding you, that's what I mean when we're talking about word of mouth epidemics and making sure you are controlling the things that you can control, and you're putting your stuff out there in a very consistent manner, because these kinds of things start to happen for you, all right? People who didn't know you from before now discover you, and that's when your work becomes real. It's not because you're going out there and every single person you meet, you're saying, listen to this, do that. No, you're just doing your thing, grinding, improving every day. And the next thing you know, people just start discovering you. And that's the beautiful thing about life, guys. That's the beautiful, beautiful thing about life, right? Speaking of all that, the main website to check out is makeyourmove.com. That's makeymove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and self-development needs. You can listen to the Move Swiftly podcast on there. You can do all that. It's all on that one website, so just go out and check it out. Enjoy your Friday. Go be great today. And remember, become discoverable. That's the takeaway from today's video, is to just simply become discoverable. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.